All right. Hello. Welcome, everybody, to another market open. Hello. Let me tweet this out into the world. We are live on a Friday. It's Friday, October 14th. Midway till October. Hello, everyone. Hello. Everclear, I haven't seen you in a while, man. I hope you're doing well. Happy you're here. Hello. Happy Friday. Morrow, Bacon, Uriel, Cameron. Oh boy, it is Friday. I was hoping for more red. Yeah, it's we're continuing a bit of this rally. ERP Pro, good morning. Nicholas, what's up? Oh man. Thank goodness it's Friday, right? It's been a long week. It's not, there's some weeks that are short, some weeks that are long. This is one of those weeks that are long. Morning, Amit. Thanks for being a friend I never have to speak to. Yo, that's the most adult comment I've ever seen. It's like, thanks for being there for me, but I never have to be there for you. That is what being a content creator is, right? It's being a friend for hopefully millions of people, but they don't have to ever worry about, messaging you. It's actually true. That's true. All right. We are in the pre-market. Today is either going to be really green or decently green, or it's going to be red. Fridays usually we tend to have a sell-off, so we're either going to see the market do that or not. Nvidia doing a pretty nice recovery. It was at 109 at one point. Now at 119 pretty comfortably. S&P 368. Goodness. S&P was 349 yesterday. Now it's at 368. Probably, most likely could break 370 today, and we'll see about that. ARC Innovation up 1.3%, 3651. Netflix up to 235. SoFi 518. NASDAQ up nicely, 10,649. Where's Palantir? Look at that. Palantir is up at 813. It's a pretty nice green market. What up, Amit? Yes, bro. Happy Friday. What happens if a company I have stocks in is acquired by another company? So if you have a company where the share price is $10 and the company acquires it for 15, you get the delta between 15 and 10 for every share that you have, which would be $5. And that's really exciting and cool. So hopefully that happens. At work, waiting for these earnings to start dropping. What earnings do we have today? I'm interested. I know we had Pepsi a couple of days ago. Jpmorgan came out. Jpmorgan, let me share this real quick. They beat on their earnings pretty well. Especially in the context of, there's a bank. If JP is beating their earnings, that's not bad at all. It's definitely not bad for the market. Earnings of $3.12 a share may not be comparable with $2.88. So they beat those estimates. And then they put up $33 billion versus $32.1 billion. Banks said third quarter profit fell from 17% from a year ago to $9.74 billion or $3 a share. So they added $3 a share. Revenue jumped 10% to $33.49 billion. Diamond said there are significant headwinds immediately in front of us. Stubbornly high inflation leading to higher global interest rates. That uncertain impact of quantitative tightening, the war in Ukraine, which is all increasing all geopolitical risk and the fragile state of oil and oil supply and politics. While we are hoping for the best, we remain vigilant and are prepared for bad outcomes. Well, it seems like they're going to try to weather the storm. But the earnings overall were pretty good. Not bad at all. Okay, let's go back to the market. INMD. In mode What does this company do? $34 a share. Market cap 3 billion. 52-week low 20. I'm saying this because someone in the chat, Alex, who typed in the chat. That's why I was curious. INMD. Interesting. I have no idea what they do. I will have to research that. I would recommend not making any big decisions until Monday, folks. This is some unnatural creepy. I agree with you, Gordon. This is very, very unnatural. And ultimately, like, I don't know, man. It's like your guess is as good as mine for why we're. I mean, obviously, one could argue we're having capitulation. We're starting to form bottom. We're starting to, stocks are obviously oversold to an extent. You could argue a bunch of those things, but the bottom line is inflation is going up. And so there shouldn't be a catalyst unless the market takes it in. It's like, we're just going to overlook it and move on to the next thing, which is technically what the markets do. They are the markets. All right, here we go. It is 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is October 14, 2022. If you are new to this channel, you should get ready for what you're about to hear. And if you're an OG of this channel, then I hope it's music to your ears. The stock market is now officially open. Wake your ass up. Stock market is open. Tesla 225 opening up very nicely. Netflix 237. SoFi 522. Pepsi 175 beating well on earnings. NASDAQ 10,754. NASDAQ was 88 points away from going to 9,000. NASDAQ is doing very well. DNA Ginkgo Bioworks at 294. Tesla 225. Palantir 825. Zoom 75.97. Roku 53.28. It was hitting 49 yesterday. Meta hitting lows of 122, now at 131. Nvidia lows of 109, now at 120. Actually, the lows were 108.13. Google $100. It was at lows of 94. Tattooed Chef went below $4 yesterday. ARK was at 33.10, which was new 52-week lows. AMD doing well at 59. It was at 57. Microsoft at 236. One could argue that buying over the past couple of days was a good idea, but I think Monday will tell us if it's actually a good idea. S&P at 368.80. So S&P is also doing pretty well. My wife's home today and she was like, what the fuck is that sound? Wait, do you have me on like the live TV or something? Or is just your computer that she's hearing? Wake your ass up. Yes. Wake your ass up. There we go. I'm not doing anything with Tesla. I'm waiting for earnings. I already bought what I could. DRK, how many shares of Tesla do you have? How big? I'm curious. How big is the portfolio? How is it that we have green and Friday? Yeah. Again, the market is the market. Any thoughts about Plug Power? I remember Plug at $1.22. I bought it. It was like one of the first thoughts about a Robinhood. I know it ran up to like what all-time highs of like 90 or something. What was it at? Yeah, $75 all-time highs. That was kind of insane. If I just held it from $1, I mean, goodness, God, would make 75x my money. It's fucking stupid, bro. This kind of made me mad even thinking about this. Like, this is insane, man. But anyway, yeah, what are my thoughts on Plug Power? I don't know anything about the business, which is why I sold them. And they ended up rallying. I think them being on Robinhood definitely helped their stock, but I have no idea what the company actually does. So would have to look more deeper into them to understand it. All right. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's get into CNBC. Let's see what's there. My wife is forced to watch a MIT on the TV when I'm home. That's the best gift a husband can give, to be honest to me. Like, at the end of the day, she's gonna learn more, and hopefully she'll have some fun. And that's just what it is. That's the best. All right, here we go. Let's hear someone talk about not being at a market bottom yet, because today makes it seem like we hit the bottom. But if we get a little rug pull, then that's not going to be the case. Yo, Mid and everyone worldwide, happy birthday. Happy happy Friday. Yes, happy Friday. It's not my birthday. My birthday is October 27th, but not today. Happy Friday. All right.
There are a lot of things in flux right now from a macroeconomic, big picture, global standpoint. We saw a massive amount of volatility in our stock market yesterday. What do all of those things in combination tell you about whether or not this is close to a market bottom or not?
Well, Dom, thank you for having me. Unfortunately, I don't think we're at a market bottom yet. I think things are still not stable. Yesterday's move was really just some calm. And I'm trying to recall a time when I've tracked the dollar versus global currencies so much, because the strength in the dollar really has expressed stresses elsewhere. And certainly what has happened in the UK is the latest example of that. And I think there are sort of many crises in the making potentially. You can't rule it out as a potential that could have global ramifications for risk assets like stocks. And this is the issue that's very difficult to quantify at this point.
But you mentioned the dollar. It's a perfect way to get into a conversation about what's going to happen with the corporate earnings season. The banks maybe not as much. We don't focus on them specifically because of the dollar strength. But there are a number of consumer products companies, large technology firms that derive a lot of their revenues outside the U.S. And that strong dollar is going to weigh on corporate revenues and profits as they try to revert them back overseas to here in the U.S. What exactly is that strong dollar story going to tell us about what we should expect from corporate earnings season?
There's going to be some headwinds there. I think it's probably why the Russell 2000 seems to be outperforming more recently. It seems to be basing a little bit ahead of what the S&P is doing right now, because there's less dollar exposure by the more domestically focused.
Real quick, someone Everclear says, question, Amit, what's up with ACI? What am I missing on Kroger's Rogers $34 a share? So if Albertsons is buying Kroger's, or no, it's Kroger's agrees to buy rival grocery company Albertsons for $24.6 billion. The company said Kroger agreed to buy Albertsons for 34 share in a deal valued at 24. So theoretically, Albertsons should be worth $34, right? That's the argument. If that right now Albertsons is 26 and Kroger's is 44. The market might feel like that deal might not go through. That's why it's doing that. The company said the Kroger agreed to buy Albertsons for $34 a share. Albertsons shares had closed at $28. Kroger's agreed to buy Albertsons. So Albertsons should be $34 right now, theoretically. But if it's not, that means that the market, it's like the Twitter thing, right? The market doesn't think Twitter should be 54.20 at that point. All right, let's finish this and we'll keep going.
U.S. companies. I think it's really important to focus on profitability, regardless of where you're looking, whether it's large or small, which I equate profitability to duration, because we continue to raise interest rates. The Federal Reserve is very unlikely that they're done yet. Conditions are tight and are likely going to get tighter on a going forward basis until there's evidence that the inflation that inflation has peaked and is beginning to come down. I just don't think we're there yet. And I'd contrast this period to, say, other crises we've had in the past where it's been much more V-shaped. I think this is more of a bottoming process than a point in time. So investors have to be patient, because I think there's going to be fantastic buying opportunities.
Are the markets right now in a good position?
It's a tricky time, right? Because either you think we're in a bottom or you think we're not in a bottom. And, I wouldn't put it against us not being in the bottom just because markets are stupid. Markets are crazy. 360. Wow, man. If we had 370 on the S&P, goodness, this market just doesn't want to have a crash. How many times have people been saying, oh, it's going to crash, it's going to crash. And the market just doesn't want it. It just does not want the crash to happen. It's like every time we get close to the crash, like this isn't the crash. 370 from the S&P is not a crash. Apple being at 143, not a like. It makes you worried because you're just like, well, when is it actually just going to happen? And maybe it doesn't happen, and it's time to buy. Maybe it does. Who knows? Temporary green. Market is forward looking, bro. Yeah, Chris, I agree. I understand that. It's just the onslaught of analysis for why there is no reason we should be going up outside of the forward looking sort of process. I don't know. It kind of necessitates you would think there would be some more pain. I mean, we just have not had sustained pain, like, which makes me think this is a bear trap rally. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe we're ready to keep going. Maybe we're ready to rally into October. October usually is good for stocks. Maybe we're ready to go into the midterm elections, right? Maybe we're ready to finally just do more. Just goes to show no one knows. Yep. We're at the top of the bottom and the bottom of the top. You need to have earnings to deteriorate to have good crash. That's true. And I guess we're going to see that with new people coming. New bull market income. Earnings will be the decider. Just have negative Nancy, aka Chris, go live with you. Chris is only negative on Palantir. Outside of that, he's pretty bullish a lot of times. He's also getting bullish about Palantir. You can always use your crystal ball. That's true. When I first went hard on Palantir in 2021, I gave myself a 5-year no-sell agreement. This thought is barely keeping me sane. Well, yeah, I wouldn't sell Palantir. I mean, it's one of those stocks where either you think it's going to be big or you're not going to make the money you thought you were going to make on it, which is the risk of investing, right? That is the fundamental risk. But it's one or the other at some point. One or the other at some point. All right, let's hear about bank earnings. Oh, wait, hold on. No. Let me pull something up real quick. I know Kathy recently did some more interview stuff. Where is it? Kathy Wood. Let's see what she had. By the way, has everyone eaten breakfast yet or no? I have not ate breakfast yet, but I'm curious if other people have eaten some breakfast. There we go. Let's listen to some China talk, because we always got to know about China.
Just talking about the role of Saudi. By the way, Saudi, China, Russia. I mean, you could put them all into one category if you'd like. But we could also talk about what I know you were coming on to talk about, which is the direction of China and how you think that's going to change the dynamic and relationship with the U.S. or not, frankly.
It does sort of tie in together because these regimes are different from us. Obviously, they're not democracies. In the case of Saudi Arabia, it's a monarchy. But it's a benign monarchy, more or less, but for the fiasco that took place a few years ago. But I just want to focus on China for a few seconds because I think this is super important to what's going on in the macro backdrop. China, the currency's down 7%. The youth unemployment is at 20%. There's a regime change going on. And with the regime change, when I say a regime change, you say, well, what do you mean? The president's been the president for the last 12 years. But it's a different thing that he's deploying now. This is becoming more autocratic. They're using the AI not for the development of their economy, but for surveillance. They're also crimping capital controls. And so the regime is actually changing. It's becoming more insular. It's becoming tougher. And I think they're making colossal mistakes because if you go back over the 25-year period of time, dating back prior to the World Trade Organization, China was in a symbiosis with the West where we were sharing technology. When I used to travel over there, Andrew, the notion was a transfer of technology to China. That is not happening anymore. And of course, they've got the COVID problem. You and I both know that if they don't end the lockdowns, they could see upwards of 10 million deaths because they just don't have the hospital beds to handle a potential renewed wave of the pandemic. So I'm super worried about that dynamic. It's not great for the West. We need to have a better economic relationship with China. and it'll be up to China to make that happen. Last point I want to make, he's overestimating, like President Putin, his military, and I think that's also a dangerous thing for the world.
When you think about financial companies in the U.S. that want to do business in China, should they want to do business in China? Yes, no, I'm not. I think about it. And by the way, just by background, I know at one point you had obviously tried to sell your business to HNA that was blocked by CFIUS. So I'm curious to sort of how you think about what's happening in the financial world and our long-term relationship with China from a business perspective.
So listen, personal philosophy, I'm sort of in the Kissinger camp that we need to open ourselves and we need to try to figure out ways to get closer and ultimately greater economic interdependence. You can go all the way back to von Metternich, Kissinger's first paper. You get that global economic interdependence. You have less strife, more prosperity, less war. So I'm for that. But I'm going to tell you right now, the practical reality of that right now, Andrew, is that in the Congress, this is the only thing that the Republicans and the Democrats agree upon, and that is sort of a clampdown on China and a distancing of the U.S. from China. And of course, we're redeploying manufacturing and things like semiconductors here in Ohio. But if you're asking me long term, is that the right strategy? I believe that it isn't. We need to figure out a way to reduce these tensions. And I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but I do think that that's very important because it never ends.
Yeah, I mean, he's also talking about the deglobalization and how economic interdependence is ultimately good for us at the end of the day, not bad. So, all right, guys, I got to end it out a little bit early today. Got some stuff to do. SoFi Weekly, 10 p.m. tonight. If you're interested in SoFi, I'll be doing a new podcast with a bunch of new folks that you hopefully will enjoy. That'll be every week, Friday at 10 p.m. And then Palantir Weekly will be at 11 p.m. I just got word from Sachin. He's a bit sick, so he's not going to be here tonight, but me and Chris will be here. And the other two people will figure out who else is going to be joining us a little bit later today. So thank you all for joining. Friday, it is ending out the week. This week was a tough week in the beginning, got a little bit better in the middle, and now we're ending it out. Got a lot of stuff to do this weekend. I hope you all have a great, great week. I appreciate you beyond imagination being here in this market open. You could do a lot of things in the morning, and the fact that you chose it with me, most of you throughout the entire week, that means the world to me. So thank you very much. Have a great, great Friday. Try to make the week as good as you can, ending it out, and try to get some dope stuff done before the weekend, and hopefully relax on the weekend, refresh, and get ready for another week of October. Thank you, everybody. I will see you later tonight on the podcast. Bye-bye, guys.